Welcome, Chief Kingdom. Thanks for tuning in to this Red Kingdom Media production, bringing you raw, authentic Chiefs coverage. Make sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on your team. Now sit back and enjoy the show.
This is the Red Kingdom Media Live Postgame Show.
What is up, everybody? This Sunday evening edition of the Red Kingdom Media Live postgame show, where in the Divisional Round matchup, your Kansas City Chiefs defeated the Buffalo Bills with a final score of 27-24 in an absolute shootout, back and forth every game. Chiefs versus Buffalo is always this way. It's always one side of the ball plays a certain way, and the other that same side on the other opposing team makes up for the effort, and then the other side of the ball decides to show out, and so does the other side of the ball on the other team. So back and forth. Offense, other than the one blemish, obviously the turnover that we'll talk about later, and the one punt that actually had to happen this time. The Chiefs offense basically scored when they wanted to and got to the red zone several times. So we want to make sure that the offense maintained that same pace, and it looks like they did this game, and big hopes for next week as well. And the defense was causing plays, but they just didn't get to capitalize when those plays were made, and sometimes the offense for the Chiefs didn't get the benefit right after the Bills stop on defense. So I'll just kind of open the floor. I know you guys got a lot to say, and we don't know how long we have before we go off the rails. So we'll see how long it takes before the Taylor Swift button has to get brought into effect. But Dale, you shimmy. Tell us how you really feel.
Hey, look, I told y'all, I'm on one tonight. Hey, 11-6, AFC Championship game. What you gonna do? We in this thing. I'm telling you, stop playing. I told y'all I'm on one tonight, man. Y'all saw me go to the side a little bit. I'm on that all night. I'm telling you right now. Y'all was talking about all day. Offense ain't doing nothing. Playoff MVS, goddamn. What?
Tell him.
What? You couldn't catch that all year. All right, I'm gonna take it though. But before we really go off the rails a little bit, for real, let me get my real take. Man, offensively, y'all did a great job tonight. Y'all really did everything that I wanted y'all to do. And actually, I did more than what I wanted y'all to do. Travis Kelce played a great game. Pop, every time he got the ball, he was really getting 6 to 7 plus yards. At one time in the game, we was averaging 9 yards a play. So really, I think they came in here saying that, they're going to come out here and try to play a better offensive game than us. Let's go out here and let's just put up more points. At a time we lost Mike Edwards and then lost Willie Gay as well too. Willie Gay has been the guy who always fought against Josh Allen, but you see they was able to get it together. They held in, they locked down on that run defense. James Cook really didn't do nothing in the second half. We saw a couple loss of games. So really, all in all, I'm just happy with the performance, and I think this is something that we can do going forward, going into the AFC Championship game as well too, because Lamar and that offense, they can definitely run the ball great as well too, but also he got some great receivers in Odell Beckham Jr. and then also Zay Flowers as well. So McDuffie and Snead, it's time for y'all to wake up, because y'all got another one coming forward next week as well too. But overall, man, shout out to Kelce. Shout out to Rice when he got the ball in his hands. Could have had a touchdown there, but still he was a yak guy. He had a couple boo-boos in this game, but it's okay. He was able to get through it, and then he played it out. Pacheco, you keep on proving to us, dog. I'm mad that this running back market is not as great, but Hopefully we can do something for you. I'm telling you, this is what we wanted from Kareem Hunt. Thank you for not getting in trouble. All right. Thank you. Because maybe we would have been in the Super Bowl again. Probably had 3 already. You know, there's a lot going on. People, I'm telling y'all about to get in the chat hot right now. Davion, that's one of them. I'm calling your name out. We ain't putting the comments yet, but you always talking stuff. Josh Allen this. Yeah. Bye-bye. Go home. Let's go.
Yeah, and I share the same sentiments. I think it's all of us up here. It was a great showing by the offense. Not one that we expected. We didn't capitalize in the red zone there to really put these guys away earlier than what we could have. We really could have went up there, went up 34 there, and really just kind of shut the whole building down. But instead, we had a lapse in thinking and had a fumble down there in the red zone. We can't have stuff like that. I love what I seen from the offense. Defensively, we're dinged up a little bit. I feel like this will give us some time to get some guys back on the defensive side of the ball. But I mean, like, I just want to say and I wanted to get to this later in the show, but check it off the list for Mahomes, okay, y'all? So, like, that's, I mean, right. We talk about all the things that he hasn't done, right? He hasn't done this, or he hasn't won a role playoff game. Well, check that off the list, okay? Josh Allen and him were 6. They were 3-3 until we went up to this matchup. This was game 7. Game Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, so like we can cut all the talk and all the BS talk about Mahomes and what he hasn't done, and let's talk about what he has done. Okay, so when you take your team on the road and win a game like this in this fashion, with a running back that's playing at a high level, offensive line playing at a high level, turn the offense around that hasn't been good all year, and really lackluster. One of your lackluster wide receivers shows in one of the biggest games of the year. A guy that none of us trusted all year, shows the way to rear his head with 2 catches for 62 yards. I mean, this is just we got to give credit where credit is due, and call it an unbelievable showing by the offense. Andy Reid found a way to get that side of the ball turned around and get them firing. And the defense did just enough for us to get a win today. I know you were down dog, but they found a way to turn things around and get a win when it all mattered, and I'm so happy for it. And like I said, keep checking it off the list. Add it to the list for Mahomes, and he's going to keep checking it off. So I don't know what it is.
Facts. And spoiler alert for anybody who follows our content throughout the week. I'm going to be Willie Nelson basically in my Home of the Chiefs podcast episode this week, because we on the road again, baby. Never done it before, but we doing it again 1 week later. So that's one thing we can mark off the list, like you said, and how we does in a quote more hostile environment in an AFC championship game. We'll see how that goes. Right. Yeah, guys. So couple hard facts here. The Chiefs are still not allowed a team to score more than 30 points on them. Right. It didn't happen. They had 17 points against them in the first half. And, you know, we've been talking. It's all about the second half. Does the defense give up points? Yes or no? And the last stretch of the season, it's been 7 points or so. And guys, that's exactly what happened this game. 7 points in the third quarter, and that's all Buffalo scored the rest of the game. So that is shout out to the defense at a moment when they needed it the most. They stepped up at the end of the game when they needed to. When their backs were against the wall, they were down just as many players as Buffalo was losing at that time. Not like as far down the depth charts, but your key contributors on defense that you build it around and game plan around were dropping out this game. So the defense was able to step up and hold on against an offense who, to that point, was ripping them to shreds on the ground. They had nearly 200 yards rushing against them, and it wasn't the fourth quarter yet. So clearly Buffalo found the game plan of run the ball down the Chiefs' throats, and it doesn't matter if it's a handoff or if it's Josh Allen keeper. But Josh Allen was obviously the leading rusher for the Buffalo Bills, and it got to a point where you knew that was the strategy. And it came down to the very end of the game where he makes that mistake, and then either it's his fault for like not saying it's fine, we'll regroup, let me do it again, it's the thing that matters, or if it's the coaches who that was the one and done mistake they needed to see and told them to be passive. So the very end of the game, they played for a field goal and they didn't get it. So against this Chiefs team, if the offense is going to play as well as they did this game, basically showing they can score at will whenever they want, and as long as they don't prevent themselves from scoring, they can score drive after drive, and it's up to the defense to dictate whether they got to be field goals or touchdowns. But we'll start with the offense because it's a happier discussion, obviously, more pleasant surprise, I guess, than being slightly let down by the defensive results. But I mean, I hyped up Buffalo's rushing attack. The Chiefs were just as good on the ground as well. Clyde and his reps for Pacheco were just as well. There's the miscommunication, the wrong side screen pass at the beginning of the game. But just the rushing game, Pacheco, who was severely missed in the other Buffalo matchup, stood out, got the 15 carries. It happened at the end of the game. McCole Hardman was trying to prevent that towards the end, but shout out the offense getting it done. Pat and Travis putting on a show in front of Taylor in a away stadium. You get used to it. So shout out to them. I'll open the floor up again.
Lonnie, go ahead and go because I'm getting zooted right now.
Yeah, you said, and we're just, and you were speaking to the point of the offense. I feel like even though we had some mishaps on that offensive side of the ball, it was definitely the good outweighed the bad on that side of the ball. I just would think we're all overall, we haven't had a good showing offensively all year. We literally checked MVS's stats during the game. MVS has 1 touchdown on the year. Like, this is ridiculous. He was not a threat whatsoever in this game, literally. So for him to come out and kind of have that game to kind of put the world on notice, to kind of let MVS know that he's kind of a factor again, even though me and Dale and our other homeboy were fraternizing and just saying, like, we still got to trade him, get trade value out of him. I don't think it's still worth anything. But, I mean, for him to have a showing like that, I mean, I think it just says a lot. It speaks to the mentality of the offense. And to also see Pacheco get the work that he got this game. I mean, it's just shout out to him, like, for real. Like, Pacheco has been one of the great running backs that we've had in Chiefs history, just over this last stint that he's been here. And that says a lot, being that we drafted guys to the likes of Kareem Hunt, Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the first round, and for him to be that 7th round guy to really come in and just take over, and really show his raw ability, and really just be the move for the running back position. I feel like he's gonna set the tone, like Dale was saying, for the running backs going forward. Like, guys are gonna look for a guy like that. Every run looks like it hurts with Pacheco. Like, even if it doesn't hurt, like, every time he runs, it looks like he's killing the defense. So I want to take hats off to Pacheco. Hats off to the offensive line too. They had a lot of mishaps during the season as well. They had not played their best ball all year as well either. And they found a way to stick it through and get a win and really bow up and push guys around, not only like the Buffalo line did us on the defensive side, but they did it to their line on the defensive side as well. So shout out to the offensive line, and then shout out to 15. He missed some guys early on in the game, missing MVS in the end zone, missing Travis in the end zone. But he found a way to come back and hit him on the deep ball coming out of halftime, and really just working the ball downfield. He did what he needed to do as well. He didn't kill himself. And like I feel like Tony Romo said, it was going to be the first guy to turn the ball over, period, point blank. And unfortunately, Mahomes beat the odds there. He turned the ball over, but he didn't lose the game. So it was going to be whoever killed themselves was going to lose the game. So and the Chiefs didn't kill themselves.
And to put it in context, I even put it in our chat. I said, technically, Mahomes didn't turn over the ball. It was McCole. So, like, it didn't come out of his hands, and I think that kept him still motivated to where it didn't throw off his game at all. But, you know, you talked about Pacheco earlier and how he runs. He walks into the building hurting the ground. Like, can you just walk calmly, bro? Like,
And
it's
he won't
cool.
always get like 5-6 yards on every play. We saw him get like stuffed at the line of scrimmage.
Two or
twice.
three, and he's still acting like he just did something. But you need
Mhm.
that type of aggressiveness, and you need that type of mindset going in there where it's like, it don't matter if you hit me at the line of scrimmage or not, it's going to hurt you more than it hurts me. And then it did wear him out at times. I saw a lot in that game where they was pulling Creed Humphrey, and he was going to the other side, going down the field with Jawan Taylor, and it really worked out a lot for them. And I think they found their rhythm with the run game. And then in the passing game, it's more of like, let me tell you something. We want to go downfield, but it's postseason. We're going to take what y'all give us, and we just going to kill y'all going down the field. It's been times 2 or 3 plays. I said it before as well, too, early on in our past post games and even in our shows as well, too. Man, just kind of methodically march down the field, get 20, 30 there. And that's what you was doing with Travis Kelce. Then you was getting down to the 30-yard line of your the opposing team's line of scrimmage and everything like that. You was in their field position. So it's like, take advantage of that, get down field fast, and then in the red zone, they was a lot better than they were last week as well, too. At times they were getting down there, they was getting stops, but all we need to do against them was just get some field goals, not turn over the ball. We'll be fine because our defense held their own. And today, even though our defense was a little weaker and we start getting depleted, especially with Willie Gay going out and Mike Edwards as well too, and at times you saw a lot of guys just getting up very slow just because of the cold weather and hitting that ground. I think right there it just showed the toughness that they had, but they was able to still dial in and still be able to get the stops that needed to get, what they needed to get. And even when they was going downfield as well too, even on that last possession in the missed field goal by Tyler Bass, just them being aggressive, attacking. They end up on that 39 as well, too, going after Josh Allen. He tried to throw it downfield. It was a miss, and they brung out the guy. It just, in moments like that, it doesn't have to be a 3-and-out every time or, you give up a field goal then and there. You got to put him in that position because in a game like this, in this environment, you needed to get closer for him. And honestly, you really needed to score against this Kansas City team because they beat you the last 3 times now in the postseason. This was our time where it's like, okay, I'm going to go out there. I don't care what it is. If I was Sean McDermott, I would probably been like, 4th and 9. We kick the field goal. We give Mahomes back the ball. He been driving on us all day. 4th and 9. Josh Allen, he kind of been getting his yardage with the run as well too. Forget it. We're going for it. I would have respected you more right there. And you can say that after the game as well too. But it's like, really, you're trying to get over that hump, and sometimes you got to take that risk. You have nothing to lose now. Because, you started off where you wasn't going, possibly wasn't even going to the postseason. So at this point, it's like, these guys have stopped us every time. Cincinnati last year, but y'all had in this round right here, in critical moments, every time beat us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting it in my best player's hands. That's
and
all I'm saying.
And McDermott's words at a halftime were "Go for it." Right? Like, did anybody else hear that?
They didn't do it at the end of the game.
They
That's
did
crazy.
not do that. So I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
What was the
kind of
point?
puzzling there.
I just said they didn't score any points in the fourth quarter. How are you going to win a game against the Chiefs and not score in the fourth quarter? So to put the scoring in perspective, the Chiefs opted to score 2 field goals to start their scoring, and at that point they were making it, and it was still down 10-6. At that point, you're thinking, oh no, if the defense can't get any stops and we're only kicking field goals, this is going to be a long night. And the defense stepped up and got the ball back for Mahomes, and they got the first touchdown to Travis Kelce just before halftime, and then Buffalo deciding to run the ball with Josh Allen the entire time, goes down the field and gets in the end zone, pretty much taking us to halftime. So that's what was working for him. And then at the very end of the game, his mistake made something change. Like I said, I don't know who decided that, just kidding, let's be more conservative, bring out the Andy Reid mentality. But something scared them about it. Like they saw like several fumbles in front of them and think, okay, we better not test this anymore. Let's just try to kick the field goal and win it. But they had 1 field goal all game, and it was in the first quarter. So your kicker, besides extra points, was ice cold and hadn't kicked a field goal since the first quarter. So it's not like expected that would happen. But when you just read all the events of the game, start to finish, it's glaring that they were going away from what was constantly working, and when they chose not to do what was working, it backfired on them.
I
So
think that I
go
think they
ahead.
were scared. I would think they were scared because not scared, I would say, but that Shakur injury when Reed hit him, when Traco was going in over top of him as well too, and he had that shoulder injury. Even though he came back in the game, I think that kind of stalled him out a little bit because not only do they use James Cook a lot and Stephon Diggs to really create a lot of opportunities for the offense, but in moments, even in the last game that you saw it, Shakur was actually able to make big plays himself as well too, and he's kind of one of their guys who was like someone who could spark an offense, especially with his elusive ability and be able to get downfield or make big plays, and even in moments score touchdowns as well too. I think that took away from what they wanted because they know we wanted to key in on Stephon Diggs and we were going to lock in on him, so that probably could have thrown them off a little bit, and I put that out there as well too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I definitely think that that may have been the reason that they went away from the game plan, but I also think it may have been the way that those linebackers just started coming downhill. You could see that Spags that had made some type of subtle adjustment, being the way that they started to stop that run, really shoot those gaps and be confident, starting to run blitz. Like Romo said, you could see he was starting to bring it. But I also just want to go back and touch on that on the offense just really quick. Mahomes and Kelsey passed Gronk and Brady
They
for
did.
touchdowns.
They
So
tied
like
him and broke it in the same game. So
yeah,
shout
tied
out
him and
them.
broke him in the same game. So like we have to sit here, and this is when I was speaking to my family earlier this week, y'all, and I told them sometimes as people we don't know what we're watching and understand when we're sitting and we're watching, but we need to all sit back and understand that we're watching greatness at this point. When guys are starting to break records like that, this is not something that's just every day it happens. So like we need to understand that we have two of the all-time greatest players in NFL history as of right now, and they're going on one of the most spectacular runs that we may see in football history. So understand what we have in front of us, and cherish every moment of it because you don't know how long it's going to be. Travis was hurt this year, dinged up this year, and
All right.
Mahomes hasn't played his best. So you never know what could happen, and when things can end. So you cherish every moment of it, but understand that we are watching greatness here.
Yeah, I agree. So the team finished with about 350, 360 total yards in offense. And the game definitely felt like Buffalo had the ball in control majority of the game. So shout out to the offense for basically taking advantage of every possession they had. They punted one single time and had the controversial call that helped us a few years back, but will hurt us now. So see how the rule book wants to feel about the touchback rule. But I mean, other than the one mistake that we saw, I mean, Travis played great, no mistakes. Holmes didn't do anything he shouldn't have, didn't have a sack, barely had any incompletions at all. So, I don't know what we were like experiencing during the regular season, but it's evident that when the playoff lights are on, everybody kind of tightens up a little bit and they just kind of forget about they forget about all the mistakes that they were making in the past. So shout out to them for going into their first road game and snatching the hearts out of all the Bills fans out there. You guys have anything you want to talk about more on the offense before we defense it up?
Hey, all I want to say is Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelsey did it again. Broke another record. They have connected more than Gronk and Brady this time, making it 16 total touchdowns together. They're now leading in that category, and this is in 5.5 seasons, fellas. This is amazing stats. I think we need to appreciate greatness. It's crazy, even in his down year, the floor is goddamn AFC Championship game. This is crazy. And I think we gotta appreciate it and have fun with it and really enjoy what we are able to experience. They've been horrible all year. And for y'all to come out and go down the field each time only one punt, either field goal or touchdown. This is all I asked the entire year. It's okay because you did it in the postseason. Thank you. I appreciate you. Now let's let this carry over to next week because it's going to be a week full of content, and I promise you, it's going to be a lot of fun because it's a time to be alive. Even in his worst season, he's going to the AFC Championship game. Let's go to the Super Bowl. Let's keep on taking it one step at a time.
Yes, sir. All right. So hyped it up. The defense, all of our score predictions would have said holding Buffalo to like 20 or around that. 24 would have been pushing it because based on the past results of this current Chiefs team, the offense, you were like always saying 21 points is the marker. So maybe playoff Mahomes and company believe that 27, 28 is more of the mark that they got to hit, regardless of how well their defense played. But the defense ended up making enough plays to ultimately give the Chiefs a victory. Like I said, 7 total points in the last 2 quarters of football. That's not going to be enough to win you the game, regardless of how good of a team you are. So the defense gave up 17 points to start the game and 7 points to finish the game. And the Chiefs were steady enough to get points every single quarter. And like we said, nearly every single drive. So the defense kind of knew the assignment at that point. They knew the shutout, unfortunately, wasn't on the card anymore. So they realized what the ultimate goal was to try to make them bend, don't break. It happened kind of begin the game, but Buffalo had been leaning into that aggressiveness up until the very end of the game that ultimately cost them. So I think that's going to make them hungrier next season, but we know that that team won't ultimately be 100% the same because a lot of cap space stuff and who knows what other movements go on there. So this was Josh Allen and Buffalo Bills' best shot at this Chiefs team when we saw them as offensively weak and defensively strong. And in this game, those roles were completely flipped. But like you said, Dale, in the text, the Bills, they drove, but the Chiefs defense bended but didn't break. So if you just go through all the stats, it works out for them. If you watch the game, you would have said the Bills can run the ball for 12 yards every play they want to, and I'm surprised they're not. So I'll let go of the mic and let somebody else take it, but it's kind of just perplexing storyline here.
Well, I think defensively, it always came down to, you understand that this is a great offense and they're able to really go downfield and they got a lot of great weapons as well too. It just was going to take that one stop or that one moment that was able to steer it away. And I think in this game for the Kansas City Chiefs, that one stop at the end to where even the one before where they was able to get the fake punt, but also even for Josh Allen on 39 to actually try to throw downfield was incomplete and it became 4th and 9. They didn't give them a chance to go for 4th and 2, 4th and 3, where they felt a lot confident and they knew they can get the yardage and keep the drive going. And that kind of gave us an advantage. So with the kicker coming out there, forcing to kick the field goal, I think that put us in place to where it was a cold game. It was going to come down to a field goal. They actually say this in the storyline as well too, and it actually went in the Chiefs' favor. So really, I think the Chiefs defense right now, they did enough to get by, but now with next Sunday being the AFC Championship game, we can get Willie Gay healthy. We can see what happens with Mike Edwards as well too with the concussion protocol, because keep in mind they have their safety Teron Johnson, who was actually in concussion protocol, made it before the Sunday game, right? So I can expect Mike Edwards probably can do the same thing, especially have that extra day because Buffalo played on Monday. So if we can get those guys back, I saw early maybe that kind of made our defense a little bit more weak to where they were able to take advantage of that. However, I just think, even with us not getting any sacks, we was in your face. When we pushed them back into your body when you had that throw, you were able to get that throw off. So we were just able to do enough. But honestly, just shout out to them. They were able to get it through because really, when you look at the game, Josh Allen didn't lose a game for them. He didn't lose the game for them at all. He did what he could in those moments. He gave them another chance as well too. That's why right now the Chiefs are considered the number 2 defense in the league. They do enough. And honestly, the game could have been over if he recovered that fumble and if McDuffie could have got his first pick of the season. It's okay. I've been begging you, bro. It's fine. Maybe we can get one next week. Who knows? But they had their chances, and I think we just lucked out in that moment, and it's okay. And when I say luck, it's not like talking down on them. It's just when it comes to games like this, you got to have some type of little supernatural, a little hope in there to where it's like, thank you, it was the right amount. And that's what happened for the Chiefs defense. It's probably, even though the Packers and the Broncos, they gave up 24 to the Broncos and 27 to the Packers. I think in this game, it seemed like they were a lot weaker. But if they were a lot weaker and only giving up 24 points, can't wait till they get healthy and come back. Maybe it's lesser than that next week for the Baltimore Ravens, the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Yeah, and I think I share that same, just some of them same sentiments there, especially with Mike Edwards. I feel like going down with Mike Edwards going down there so early. I feel like it definitely made Stags play things a little bit Manila, and probably go away from some of the stuff that he may have used if he had a veteran safety in there, being that you have to use Shamari Connor and Deion Bush, not knowing what he can really do all the way. So I want to say I definitely think that played a factor there. I figure Spags will be a little bit more prepared, being what happened in the AFC Championship last game. That's a little red flag that I kind of don't like to see. Being that guys are susceptible to probably going down in these type of games, being that it's fast moving, fast paced, and you're flying hard, you're hitting everything as hard as you possibly can. So you have to be prepared for guys to possibly go down. So I wish Spags would be just a little bit more prepared there, and getting his backups where they need to be. But I feel like overall you did it, like you said, did enough, like they've done all year. We have to continue to give hats off to the defense. They've been holding guys under 20 points, but this is the NFL. This is the playoff. The hardest thing to do is beat a team twice in the NFL. And this is a prime example of that, guys. Both of these teams that we've played in the playoffs beat us both in the regular season. It's hard to beat a team more than once in the NFL. And this, like I said, this just shows you're going to make adjustments. You know your opponent very well. You could tell the Chiefs knew their opponent very well. And like we said, Spags is famous for making the most infamous adjustments and getting stops when he needs to get them. And he did that in this game. So it's about having the coordinators, having the players when you need to have them. And also some of that pressure. Like Dale said, we didn't get a lot of sacks, but the Charles Omenihu pressure, even the Chris Jones pressure from Deion Dawkins that caused the misthrow, all of those things played a factor as well. And like he said, hopefully we can get some guys healthy, get them back ready for the AFC Championship, being that we have a week to go. And then let's see if we can play better at full health. Being that I feel like Spags wasn't at full health, he had to dial some things back.
Yeah. So just to put this game in perspective, the total yards is basically identical, just a couple yards but in Buffalo's favor, but basically the exact same amount of yards. The Chiefs obviously had the one turnover, and Buffalo did not have any of their mistakes cost them. Buffalo finished with more first downs than the Chiefs. But the Chiefs finished with 23 minutes of possession and 27 points. And Buffalo had the ball for 37 minutes and got 24 points out of it. So that's a win. But secondly, my thought is that is not the type of game that I would have assumed this Chiefs offense would choose to play. We thought that they were going to take as much time off, run the ball over and over again. But it's clear that when they realized that they had a formidable opponent, and it didn't matter how great the defense was, you still felt like you were going to have to score either now or at the very end. You would have said they're eating that clock and trying to keep the ball as long as possible. But they were getting big chunk plays and either scoring or stopping the clock or whatever the case. So the Chiefs end with more points than they had minutes in the game. So that's a great average. I doubt that's going to hold next week. We'll have to see. But you know that the Baltimore offense is just as explosive as this Buffalo offense is, and just as much, if not more, in some of the same exact tendencies. Quarterback run, good running backs, wide receivers you trust enough. So, like, not exactly copy paste this game plan into next week, but maybe we saw the rest of the blueprint for how the Chiefs actually want to play out the postseason. We saw the Miami matchup, and they're like, we got this. We don't have to do too much. Just keep running it out, and any points will work. This game, you felt like their pressure was on them basically since before the second quarter even started.
Yeah, and I feel like that's been the formula for winning all year. We shared that on this podcast several times. I know Chiefs fans are not used to it and you don't love it, but dominating the time of possession, being Bill Belichick-esque, beating your team up defensively, whether that be man coverage or zone coverage, trying to dominate the time of possession, take the ball out of your quarterback's hands, so he doesn't have opportunities to kill us, lessen those, and give us more opportunities to hold the ball and score and run the clock out. They did exactly what we said the formula was going to be for winning all year. I don't know if Josh Allen and them have paid attention as much as we have, which they should have, but we kind of all have been sharing that as Chiefs Nation. We want a heavy dose of Pacheco. If that's the game plan, I think that Chiefs Kingdom will be fine if we die on that hill of handing the ball off 20 times to number 10, just because it's so deafening. And seeing the type of game that he had this game, it wears and tears on defenses, and they start to feel it. So that's definitely a recipe for winning. And like you said, I think that's the blueprint definitely for the Ravens game, being that they have Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Odell Beckham, all of those different weapons.
But not only going to Pacheco as well too, if you give him those amount of carries, but it also opens up your play action game as well too. So if it opens up your play action game, they was able to do that that gives more opportunities to guys like Travis Kelce and also Rashee Rice, because not only are you trying to focus in on that, but then now we're coming across the middle with you, we get into our playmakers and they getting yards downfield, and that's setting us up for more points to put on the scoreboard. So if we able to do that and keep on keeping that heat on opposing defenses and not turn over the ball at all, this offense will be scary once it comes to the later parts of this postseason.
Yeah, let alone the play action passes were getting Travis Kelce wide open, and against a Buffalo Bills defense who basically had no other linebackers on their roster, like zero. So they were throwing against the open space where a linebacker is supposed to be. So the play action was working so well. Like, that's one way we're like, fine, you can throw the ball, because the way that the teams are finally deciding that, oh yeah, this Pacheco guy, he's a problem. We need to actually stop him. The second that you start adding more defenders towards the line of scrimmage, the the more Andy's lips just start salivating. He can't wait to throw the ball to whatever target he feels like throwing to on that play. So here's hoping that the offense continues their confidence in whatever mode they play in, whether they're in the milk the clock games of the past, or if they're in the screw it, get as many points as fast as possible mode, like it kind of felt like they were in today. It'll be a fun game next week. It'll be a test on how well our defense plays in this matchup, because in a vacuum, if we said we held the Bills to 24 points and the worst thing that Josh Allen did was run on us, and he only had combined 250 yards and he had all their touchdowns, I mean, it's not the best, but you basically said that nobody else on that Buffalo Bills offense was going to do anything against you, and they did that. So we'll see if Steve has the same mindset next week and says, "Here, Lamar, do the same thing. If you want to keep running it forever, run it forever." So,
And I say this too. We had a linebacker situation in fiasco in this game. Going into this next game, that's not the case. We have two of the best linebackers in the league as of right now, Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith. So they're going to be playing downhill and coming to try and knock some guys' head off. So hopefully we can get some different stuff there because I know Andy loves aggressive guys, get you out of position. Let you start seeing screens, let you start seeing ghosts, and then he wants to throw behind your head. So hopefully this game opens some things up for all of that, being like you hit MVS for a deep ball, and hopefully they just start to just guard some things a little bit differently, which I think they will, being that they were taking advantage of some things in the secondary.
and thank you for mentioning linebackers, Lonnie, because you made me remember Willie Gay went on X earlier this evening and basically said that he thinks he's going to be back for next week. So whatever the injury was that kept him out of this game, it doesn't seem like it's going to stop him from at least making an effort in this next Sunday matchup that we have coming up. So
Probably was some neck soreness as well too because he was dealing with that already. But I definitely don't mind him taking a couple extra days off this week just because I think his job this next week is going to be spying Lamar Jackson just because he is a little bit more faster than those other guys that we had out there, and then also he's a great tackler of the football as well too. So you're kind of going to want that type of individual out there in those type of situations. But we know that Lamar. First thing he's gonna do is he's gonna figure out a way. Like how the offense is set up for them is they do want to get it to their playmakers like Zay Flowers or Odell Beckham Jr. But then again, they also have a lot of design runs as well too. I think the goal next week is to key in on that again and then make him force it to his other playmakers to make a play. Now they can do that, but I do think we have in the secondary that can actually match that. So like I said, I do think Mike Edwards can come back and you don't see what we saw this week as well too.
I was going to say that's one of the injuries that I'm concerned with, and then we'll see how severe the Joe Tooney injury is. That's one of our key
Do we know
O-line
what it
cogs.
was with Joe Tooney? What was the injury?
Right pick.
Oh, okay.
We'll see. He'll probably have a couple days
Allen
out
Grady
too.
played well though. I just want to say this speak to the Chiefs offensive line point. Only really real Chiefs fans understand what we kind of do there, how we kind of farm offensive linemen. But Nick Allen Grady has been on this team for a long time, and I feel like he's definitely reliable. I don't know about you guys, but Nick Allen Grady also plays center. He's just a utility man on the offensive line. I feel like it's pretty good. It's not Joe Tooney, but I feel like it'll suffice.
They're confident in him, basically.
And you're not putting him at a tackle position as well too. He's definitely good within the sticks, within like the line. So he's definitely a good interior guy. Maybe if you feel like, definitely if you feel like if Joe Tooney was to be out, I wouldn't be surprised if they kick Trey Smith over to the left and have him on the right side just because your left side is always the strongest. And we know and we saw them do different things with that as well too. But it all depends. I think he'll be fine though. I think couple days of rest, then go out there probably for the last couple of days of practice, be ready to go. This is a guy who played in that Bengals game in the regular season like a couple of years ago with just a cast going on his wrist and his hand, and he's a dog. So I feel like he'll tough it out. He know what this means for the team, and who doesn't want to have a chance to go back to another Super Bowl as well too, because he's just racking up the Super Bowls at this point right now. He got 3 total. Got one with the he got 2 with the Patriots and 1 with us. So of course he want to add 1 more on there before he actually think about retirement because we got him on a 5-year contract. Who knows what happens after this contract as well too. I know he want to tough it out. So we'll see how that goes.
Sure. I don't got anything else really to gloat on this game. Kind of just overall good. Nobody really stood out. They toughed it out. It was a grinded out game. The Stars did just enough to get by. Some of the not so liked people made plays or did something good. So, shout out just overall team effort on the Chiefs' behalf. So they got another tough matchup coming up this week, and thankfully we get to be here talking with the lovely people this week with all of our favorite shows and content. But unless you guys got something, we'll go through these chats for those who were nice and came to the live chat with us, and we'll send you out.
This all I gotta say to Bills Mafia. Stop doing these little suplexes and FUs through the fire table, getting your ass caught on fire just to lose a game. Boy, y'all just own one. Come on now. Like, y'all doing too much. That wasn't gonna stop anything. Y'all players out on the field gotta do that. I would have probably liked your ass on fire if you was out on the field trying to do something to get your team pumped up. But he ain't getting pumped up this time. But man, hey,
There
shout
it
out to
is.
Chiefs Kingdom, man.
Yeah, and I just want to say,
Kelsey.
Oh yeah, Jason Kelsey for sure. I just want to say, if not now, then when? To the rest of the world. I'm sorry. If this was the window for the Bills, if this was the window for the rest of the AFC, I'm sorry, your window has shut. Unfortunately, this guy's here. He's here to stay. You haven't seen anyone win like this since Brady. Well, I'm sorry, you guys. Brady is back. He's reincarnated, and he wears number 15, and he plays for the Chiefs. Remember that. No road team won a playoff game this whole conference playoffs this whole weekend. But Mahomes comes in and finds a way to do it. So I want everybody to take this. Remember this game. Take a picture, screenshot it. But remember this. This adds to the legacy, only to a great legacy. One that I don't think is finished yet. So we're yet to see what continues to happen. Let's keep watching. And everybody else, keep your mouth shut because you never know. We'll come kick your door in and take everything you got to.
True. All right. So before I let the lovely people have their say and show what lovely feedback they brought to us, make sure to like and subscribe and follow us on all our social media platforms at Red Kingdom Media. Wherever you're watching this now, live or after the fact, listening to this, thank you for your support throughout this season, and thankfully at least one more continued week of pure, unadulterated Chiefs coverage. So thank everybody who's been a part of that journey with us so far, and I'm sure y'all are going to be with us a little bit longer. So shout out to anybody here. Let's do it, baby. No. No. Missing field goals. Yes, sir. And he died. That sucks. I mean,
Out on the field today.
I mean, if you're a kicker and you miss the last field goal to either tie or whatever your team in the playoffs, I think you're instantly goated at that point. So we mentioned it's not Josh Allen's fault they lose, but there were several chances where he almost let the Chiefs have the chance because he blew it. So, yeah, the best defenses, and it's still going to somehow be a 30 burger.
We're going to see.
Let's go. Pacheco MVP. I mean, during the season, I'd say yes. I don't know this game particularly he was, but I mean, I'm never going to argue with him.
Yeah, I think in the season they're going to give him that team MVP just because what he was able to do. Like, he has been like our offensive like juggernaut and really kind of sparks us and always gives us some type of fire. So really, I think that's a standout.
It's reminiscent. It's reminiscent of who? Go ahead and say it. I want both of you to say it.
You're not saying Jamal Charles, are you?
No, it's reminiscent of who? He wears his number.
Oh no.
I mean, you can say you don't want to, but I mean, the energy is that infectious.
He had a chance to break another one, Lonnie, and he didn't do it. Rick would have took that to the crib.
I'm saying the energy is that infectious. Like, it's it's the extent of a big play from Tyreek Hill. It's like the same. A big run from Pacheco is almost the same as getting a big play from Tyreek Hill at this point.
You know what energy he gives? Is what we was giving Tony at first. This is not gonna stop. He's a crackhead.
Okay.
He's run like a crackhead. He just don't care. It don't matter. You can do whatever to him. It's like he feel like anything's going. He runs like a crackhead, and I'm cool with that. Just keep on going off. Now I'm not gonna say it again because I don't want us to get marked. But y'all know what I just said. That's all it is.
Yeah, he runs hard. But I'm just saying the energy is infectious, is what I'm trying to say. I feel like that energy is equal to or greater than. Just like it's almost the same thing. Like just getting a Pacheco run and fires that team up. I feel like in the same way, but that's just me.
I low key feel more energy from Pacheco just because he just like he's wild.
Yeah, we said the
McCole
Oh, all
suck.
right.
project is probably done.
He made his
Yeah.
mistake. I mean, he'll know. Hopefully, Andy Reid
We just
knows
not
that
mad 'cause-
McCole ain't the target to do. We're not mad at McCole. We're mad at Andy Reid that he decided in the playoffs, hey, let's give it to McCole Hardman several times.
We
Was
would have rather
doing it
took
the whole
Padre
game.
And it
Got
was
you
working,
up
too.
there.
It was
Yeah.
working too. So
He got a couple yards, like I said. If he didn't fumble, like we could have just went in and run it in. I called the whole
True.
game on my mama. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, bro, like that's how we
Cool.
feel, bro. Like a lot of us really thought, like, hey, we always do this against the Bills in the postseason. That's what it is. Nagy must be fired today, bro. They scored 27 points and really no turnovers. What else do you like? This could have been an EB game as well, too. To
I
be
just
honest
said
with you,
they scored more points than they had minutes of the on
Yeah.
the clock. So what else do you want them to do?
Rule to the Bros, man. Y'all already know what it is.
We shut them up, all right.
Finally.
Shout out MBS. Yeah, got on
Oh
the
my
stat sheet
God.
this time, and not
But last
in
time-
negative states.
But last time he did in the AFC Championship game, he gave us a little spark. We need you, down the field, get past Marlon Humphreys and them, taking everything. Dolores, what are you taking? What are you taking?
She said we take everything. She talked about what I just said. We run in and take them everything. Tell them
Okay,
we take everything. We the Grinch.
All right.
We the Grinch this postseason. Obviously, as you can see,
We wanted to do it on the road.
we're taking everything. We're coming to your house. We'll come in your house, put our feet under your table, and we're gonna leave with the meal that you cooked.
And we chilling.
Everything.
All right,
Yeah.
I will let you guys have your final say before we go off the airwaves. Tell me your final thoughts for this game.
Hey, shout out to Chiefs Kingdom, man. We was able to stick it out. I know we've been on the team the whole year and everything, but this is why I was saying this the whole time. Sometimes we just need to be quiet because what we've seen throughout the regular season, it doesn't happen in the postseason. All we gotta do is get there. We don't care if we play in a wild card game. We don't care if we get a first round bye. But at the end of the day, the floor is gonna be the AFC Championship game, and anything after that is a Super Bowl or a Super Bowl win. And that's what's going to happen again this year. Shout out to Lamar and the Baltimore Ravens, though, for getting to the AFC Championship game. He's going to try to get that monkey off his back against the Kansas City Chiefs this time. We up on him on 3-1. He was able to kind of get his W a couple years ago in the regular season. But, hey, this is our home. This is what we do it right here in. We do it in the postseason. It don't matter if it's at a neutral site. It don't matter if it's in your house. It can be in Arrowhead Stadium, but just know that you're going to get the whole 9, and we're going to do it each day and out. Patrick Mahomes, keep on doing what you do. You doing what I told you to do. Don't turn over the ball. Defense, y'all had y'all little game this time, but we waking up next week, and y'all know what we're going to do. Chris Jones, earn your money, because if you ain't going to get it here, you better get it somewhere else, and you better get a Super Bowl win and be a 3-time Super Bowl champion. Get your money off of us before you get out of here, buddy.
Yeah, and I want to just say I share the same sentiments as Andy Reid. Like he told Mahomes, when it's grim, you be the Grim Reaper. Today we were the Grim Reaper. We
Don't
took
say that again. We
today.
lost last time.
Don't say that.
Well, okay, I'm
Don't say
sorry.
that. We lost last time. Don't say that.
Well,
Rewind.
We're the, like I said, we're the Grinch, Grim Reaper, whatever you want to put on it. We're the person that's coming, like I said, to take everything that you have. We're working our way slowly to the top. We've climbed this mountain. We are finally here. It's not in our territory this time, though. So, like I said before during the show earlier, we have to be the villain. We're gonna have to go and be the Grinch. We're gonna have to go in and steal it, just like we did today. So be prepared. Mahomes, we need you to show up. They showed up all year. They know what to do. You guys are a championship team. You guys know how to play at a championship caliber. You showed that today. Continue to be that team. That's the only way that you win another Super Bowl and go win another championship and really submit yourself as one of the greatest teams in NFL history. You guys know who you are and who you guys have showed us that you can be on defensively and now offensively. So the table is set. We are here now. This is the performance that we've been waiting on all year, and it came in one of the biggest games of the year. So you guys finish the rest of the story. The story was wrote. the story was written, and it was a period. It was just a blank space, and now it's filled in. So the story is still going. Let's see if we can end it the right way, y'all. Come on.
Facts. I mean, y'all said it beautifully. I got nothing else to add. One thing that's sticking out to me, screw you, announcer Jinx. L'Jarius Sneed, he had allowed 0 touchdowns, and y'all just had to bring it up right before he gets someone against him. So, shout out L'Jarius Sneed, played your butt off, except for the announcers who jinxed you at the exact wrong moment.
Romo.
It's all his fault. Hey, we didn't see as much quarterback riding as we thought we were this game, but surprisingly neutral. I mean, Josh Allen is a CBS basically character at this point, so I'm sure they didn't have a vested interest in him going and winning this game, did they? But shout out to Mahomes and Andy Reid and everybody else on our Chiefs team that we love so much.
The league is mad, man.
They sure are, and
they
they're
man.
going to be picked next week against Baltimore either, so they get to see all the graphics showing the Ravens.
Put this out there. Now we're either in between 29 to 32 now in draft picks.
That is correct. It would be
another year. Now draft pick don't matter. You go out and win it. Don't matter now. We just gotta go out and win it. You ain't getting it no more. Just figure it out now. We was talking all that stuff. Maybe we can trade up and do all that. No, it's not gonna happen no more. I told y'all it's 29 to 32 going forward with Patrick Mahomes. It don't matter. Let it go.
Right. And we're confident now. We love how the team is playing. So the fact that scenario didn't play out and the team just iced up the way we were hoping, I mean, it was the best case scenario. So shout out to the Chiefs. Shout out to the lovely fans of Red Kingdom Media who are listening live or listening after the fact on a late Sunday night where you're partying your you-know-what off, or a Monday morning where you got to get ready to go to work. Either way, thanks for spending your time with us, and we hope that you appreciate it as much as we appreciate having y'all and getting the opportunity to be on here and speak our minds. So I got nothing else, boys. Let's send y'all home happy. I know you probably only got about 5 more minutes of sitting straight on you anyway. But thanks everybody for watching. Have a great rest of your week coming up. God bless you. As always, go Chiefs! Thanks for checking out this update straight from the heart of Chiefs Kingdom. We appreciate your passion, so please leave a like and follow us wherever you tune in from. See you next tailgate, your trusted source for all things Chiefs, Red Kingdom